Well, during the course of your 33 years, did you ever actually have to stab somebody?
Yeah, I did. I actually did a couple of times. And it was something did but it, all right, let me put it like this. To the point, it was points and times when I first started doing my bit, man, that I was when you see all the things that's going on around you and you see the life that you got to live, the type of life that you got to live, it's depressing. You know what I'm saying? And then to think about the longevity, how long you got to do it. This is what I got to wake up to every day. So it was a point that I was actually suicidal, because I ain't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if I could do it. But then that point came to the point that I went from being suicidal to, I guess you would say, I became homicidal. Because I was like, well, I'd rather kill than be killed. So I took on that frame of mind that, I know I could be killed in here. I'm not invincible. I definitely know I could be killed. But if I was gonna be killed, I was gonna be getting killed trying to kill whoever was trying to kill me. So once I took on that philosophy, man, that's just the way that I felt like I was gonna live. And I never was to the point where as to I initiated anything, because one thing about prison, trouble gonna find you. You ain't even gotta look for it. You just got to be able to handle it when it comes to you. Cause larceny gonna come at you. I don't care if you the meekest person in there, the strongest person in there, the biggest. Larceny is gonna come at you. It's just you gonna have to deal with it emphatically when it comes. So the first time that I got in a situation where I actually had to stab somebody was, I've told the story on my YouTube channel, but it was a dude named Big Raymond, and he was one of the biggest dudes on the institution. He didn't like me, because at the time now I had been locked up for a minute, and I had took on the philosophy of prison, trying to hustle, make money, do this gambling. I was into a bunch of foolishness, and I was running what we call a store box in there, where you loan out food or cosmetics or whatever it is, but you loan it out at a loan shark rates, 100% interest. You get one, you pay two back. You get two, you pay four. So I ended up having a big store box at the time, and from time to time he had to borrow from me. And I guess that kind of made him feel a certain type of way because of his size and his status, that he didn't like it. So he just took a dislike to me. And also at the time he was dealing with this little white guy that was kind of like smart. He was a real sharp dude, so he was more or less his protector. But dudes was extorting white guys in prison. You know what I'm saying? They loan them stuff and they ain't pay them. They just tax them and tax them. And this particular white dude owed me stuff, and I'm taxing him. So I guess he said something to him, which made him come say something to me. And when he came to say something to me, he was telling me, leave the dude alone. He don't owe you nothing. Don't ask him for this, nothing more, whatever, whatever. Now, I was ready to rumble with him, which wouldn't have been my first choice because he was so big, but I definitely would have stabbed him. But I was just, at the moment, we face to face, so I'm standing my ground or whatever, but it just was established that we didn't like each other. But we had a mutual friend that was my homeboy who was cool with him, was super cool with me, and he was trying to squash the beef. But he just never liked me, man. He always looked at me funny. He always made faces at me. He always just gritted at me and looked at me crazy. So one day, man, we went on lockdown and we was coming off the lock. And usually when you come off lockdown, everybody is, bucking to get in the shower, to use the phone, lines here, lines there. So while we waiting in line, me and my homeboy, we used to box together. His name is Boo, and he's from DC as well. So we was down there, we was body punching each other. I mean, like really hard. Both of us used to box. We hitting each other really hard because that's how we do. Now, mind you, he cool with Boo, he not cool with me. This dude actually walked right in between us while we swinging at each other, man, as to if I don't stop, I would have hit him. And he actually told Boo, man, y'all need to move this somewhere else, man. I'm working out, man. He said, man, and take this punk, with you. So I was like, what you say? So he turned around and we square off, and Boo get in between. He said, man, go ahead, man. He said, man, I told you, man, leave Bank alone, man. He said, man, F Bank. I don't like him anyway. He said, I probably gonna end up killing him up in here. So when he said that, I was like, all right, man, you got it. Don't even worry about it, man. He said, yeah, you heard what I said. He run his mouth. Boo keep talking to him. I leave. But when I left, I had already made up in my mind, I got to get him. He was locked up for murder. I feel like if you kill somebody, you definitely have the capacity to do it. He big. I'd already seen him display violence in there, so I felt like I had to get him. And he said it in front of the whole block, so everybody looking at me. So I felt under pressure. I definitely felt threatened, and I felt like he was going to do something to me eventually. So I went and got the joint, and I came back out there, man, and I went straight to him. He had his back turned. I hit him, you know, and in my mind, young, not knowing then, I'm thinking the knife was so big that I had read somewhere or either heard somewhere on TV that if you hit somebody and something pierces their heart, then they would just collapse, you know. So this is what I'm thinking. He's so big, I don't want to give him a chance to grab me, put his hands on me. So where I hit him is like right behind his heart. And I thought he was just collapsing. My plan was he collapsed, I just cuff the knife, walk away, act like I don't know what happened like everybody else. Man, I hit him and he just screamed and pulled away and like turned around on me and was like, hey, hey. So my whole game plan changed. Now I don't know what to do. So I'm like, boom. So I charge him and try to hit him again because I ain't know if he was going to try to get at me. But when I tried to hit him, I was swinging for his face and he put his arm up and it went through his arm. And it was literally stuck in his arm. So I jerked it back and he back up. And then he went from being aggressive to being humble. He was like, all right, you got it, man. You got it. Go ahead, man. You got it. So I got him trapped in a corner for real. I could have advanced and attacked him or whatever. My adrenaline flowing. I'm nervous. It's the first time I'm making a play like this. If it goes sour, you can die. He can take it from me. He can kill me. So, the same dude, my homeboy Boo, he just hollered and screamed my name, man. He was like, bang, bang. Everybody looking at you, man. It's over. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So I look and everybody's just in the parlay. So I started walking away and man, I was so paranoid, man. His celly was actually a homeboy of mine too. I was going up the stairs and I seen him at the door and he was looking out and I was getting ready to attack him because that's the way it goes in prison. You know, that's his celly. He might try to get me later. So my mind was everywhere. So I looked at him. I'm like, what's up? You with him? He was like, no. And he was trying to get his door closed and I went up there real fast and the door closed and I'm talking to him through the door. I said, don't come out here like you trying to. And he was like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with it, Bank. I ain't got nothing to do with it because my mind was everywhere, you know. And dude actually was telling me, I went down by my cell, you know, I went in the cell, put the knife back up. I came out, I was leaning over top of the rail. Somebody called the people to get medical for him. And I was leaning over top of the rail. Dude actually came to me and said, man, give me the knife. Let me get rid of the knife, man. They gonna come, man. You gotta get rid of the knife. I was so paranoid, man. I said, man, I ain't giving me the knife. He might come back. They like, man, the man ain't coming back, man. The man might die. Man, going to the hospital, man. You better give me the knife. I was like, nah. I was scared to get rid of it, you know, because I ain't know what was coming at me. And it ain't take but 20 minutes, man. They came in there and got me, and somebody told on me off the rip. See, that's another thing about prison as well, too. A lot of people want to see violence, but they don't want to be involved in violence. So if they know you will produce violence, they don't want you around them neither because they scared one day that confrontation can be between you and them. So they started shooting out snitch notes as soon as it happened. You know, Banky did it, the dude up there and such and such and such. So the people came straight to me, man, and they had, I can't even lie, they had me so shook up. You know, they locked me up, put me in segregation. They kept on saying, why you do that, man? Why you do that? We gotta take him out here on the helicopter. He getting ready to die, man. You in trouble. You in big trouble, man. You better tell us where the knife at. I'm like, man, I ain't do nothing. You did it. We know you did it. And then I'm in my cell down there in Seg when they put me in Seg. And later on that night, about 3 a.m, they bust my door open, man. They come in there with the wardens and the major and all of them. And, you know, normally before they open your door and say, they cuff you up and all this. They just bust my door open. They came in there and, where the knife at? We need the knife, you know, and you get ready to get charged with murder. The best way you can help yourself is just give us the knife. I'm like, man, I said, man, I need to call home, man, because I don't know what y'all talking about, man. Y'all scaring me. And they just kept on threatening me, man. I was so paranoid in there, man. I might not have slept for a couple of days. I'm scared. I'm saying if he died, man, these people gonna give me the electric chair. It's just so many things going through my head till one day an officer was coming by and he was like, he was cool with me. And I asked him about dude, because some officers were saying the dude died. So I asked the officer that was cool with me. He said, nah, he ain't dead, man. He said he in bad shape, but he not dead. That gave me a little bit of relief, but they was pressuring me, man, telling me that I was gonna get the electric chair. The dude done died. They was just basically trying to get me to tell him where the knife was. But that was the first incident that I actually had where I had to, you know, stab somebody. But in my defense, I just felt like I had to, you know what I'm saying? Because I had seen too much already, and I know what could happen. And I'm a small dude. I ain't want it to happen to me. So that's what I felt like I had to do.